is really customer service.
Hello and welcome to the LynnCAM TV Show, where we focus on organizations who are working to make an impact in the Lynn area and surrounding areas around the Lynn area. Here with me today from Heroin is Killing My Town, we have Billy Inkslinger, the founder, and a Lynn advocate, Paul Baribeau, better known as Bo. So guys, I want to thank you for being here. Heroin is Killing My Town is an organization that was developed in part by these gentlemen along with other people who were working to bring the heroin epidemic to an end. Just talking to these guys before the program, this is a very serious subject matter, and there's a lot of complication to it as well. We're going to get into that in detail, but first and foremost, guys, I want to talk to you about who you are and how you're involved with the organization. We'll start with you.
All right, thank you. Thanks for getting me on the show. It's very important that we get into the news and media and we get this awareness raised. I'm Billy, the founder of Heroin is Killing My Town. You can find me on Facebook. We're an outreach community advocates. We raise awareness and we help the communities that are heavily impacted statewide. If someone's struggling from addiction and they need some help, if someone doesn't understand addiction, they can reach out to us. We help people get in detoxes and programs. All in all, we need to raise awareness because there's some bad stigma out there and we're losing a lot of people in this fight.
All right. Paul?
Yeah, like, you know, Billy was saying, you know, I go out and I try to make awareness through parents and their siblings. You know, I lost a son and my wife in the last year, you know, due to this addiction, you know, and I believe that, you know, we all gotta do our part, you know, the community, and, you know, everybody's gonna get involved. That's why I'm here. You know, I'm you know, by myself, and I got many other people out there helping. But, you know, the more people we have and stand up and raise awareness, you know, as much as we can, you know, and stop the name calling, you know, and just a bad stigma. You know, we got to change that. And I know for a parent that it's how difficult it is, and I just think that I got the opportunity today to you know, to tell my story and to raise awareness, and I'm glad Billy's here, and I'm glad Sean invited us. You know, I love this guy, so good.
So I want to talk about the word addiction, and there's this negative stigma that comes behind it. You hit the nail on the head. And while talking to you guys before the program, I learned that there's two parts of this world. There are the addicts who are facing the struggle and they're working to get over their addiction. But like we had talked about, Billy, once you take that first shot, you know, your chemical receptors in your brain are shut down. You no longer control yourself. The drug controls you. And we were discussing how difficult it is to work alongside with some of the families. Right. It's not because they don't want to help, it's because they've tried to help and they've failed many times. So, you know, and that's where you come in, Paul, is you can kind of try to make these guys aware, like, hey, they need your love, they need your help, they don't need you to put them down, they're aware of what they're doing is wrong, and they need support more than anything.
Yeah, support and love.
Most of the organizations that we work with, there are the people that need help, and then there are people who need to volunteer. But it sounds like majority of the volunteering has to happen on the family's end of it. And it's like, you know, watching a video from your Facebook page, Billy, it really kind of showed me that you just had it, and you'd suffered enough. You'd seen enough suffering, and then this was the objective that you set out to achieve. And just recently, last week, you guys received your 501c3. You started out on a local level, you grew to a state level, and now you guys are on the national circuit. Right. Let's talk about some of the organization details. I mean, what are the services that you offer?
I offer personally interventions. If, say, you have a loved one or someone in your family struggling with addiction and you don't know what to do, because it comes right in your back door and hits you really hard, and no one understands it. No one understands what to watch out for. You know, there's key things that you look for in a human. A lot of people can hide this for a long period of time, and families are blindsided by this addiction. It's a very deadly and very addictive. I call it the worst addiction in the world. I call it one shot, one kill. You use it once, and you're probably going to fight for your life for a long period of time. People reach out to me to do interventions. People reach out to me to get them placement. People reach out to me for any and all reasons, for events and rallies. And what we're here to do is to help stop this epidemic is my main objective here. Get this to stop. get the awareness, stop the stigma. There's a big problem in communities with people looking at a heroin addict as a real bad person and they don't get the treatment they need to get. That's my biggest problem. We want to raise awareness and we want to try to stop the epidemic. It's not only helping people get into programs, not only helping people do interventions, it's helping people understand. We need to get the police on board. We need to get the hospitals on board. We need to get the school systems immediately. The school systems are key right now because they're starting school real soon. We need to get in the school systems because if we don't stop our next coming generation of younger youth, what do you think we're going to have? We're in the same boat.
Right.
You know, so it can go on and on. I mean, my main goal is to make and raise awareness, and I don't take no for an answer. And we're saving lots and lots of people. We're helping many people, and it's not just Billerica, Lynn, Woburn, Lowell, Malden. Now we're international, worldwide. I have people calling me from all over.
That's outstanding. I mean, that just speaks to the success that you've had.
Yeah.
I want to talk a little bit about, you know, the focus that we have today as a society.
Right.
And it's like, today it's all about equality. Equality this, equality that. And it's a very touchy subject for some people. And it's like, at the end of the day, right, like, we're all just human beings. We're all of the same biology, right?
That's right.
Skin color aside, gender aside, you know, sexual orientation aside.
Right.
You know, the equality stuff, just, it's got to come to a point where everybody is just treated like a human being.
Period.
You got to think about the whole entire spectrum. Here we are, we're talking about people who are addicts and they're seeking help. They can't find it from their families and they got to call a stranger to get it. You know, you jump on Facebook, the type of things that people are sharing is negative Obama this, you know, Caitlyn Jenner that, you know, gay marriage that. And it's like, there are so many more pressing issues today that need our attention. And it's like, you guys are here and you're speaking the truth. I mean, here we are. We're talking about actually helping people and getting them involved in their families. You guys are both survivors, and you guys are great examples of people who actually can overcome this struggle and actually give back to the community. That's what we should be talking about. Your organization, you guys have been around for just a little under a year right now.
Yeah, I started a year ago. It laid low for a little bit, and then about 6 months ago, I launched it full bore, and it's taken off.
So now, Paul, how long have you been involved?
Well, I stand up, but that's all right, right? I got involved. I met this lady, wonderful lady. She was running for the Attorney General. I had just lost my son at that time, and you know, to this war, not the overseas war. And I met her and I talked to her, and she was genuine. She said, "I'm going to give you a call." She called me right when she got in the office, and she led me to one of her top executives there, Catherine Madden, who me and Billy have been in touch with, you know what I mean? And I was just like so relieved. I had somebody to talk to, somebody to cry to, you know what I mean? I didn't have nobody. And I like, what's going on out there? They listened to me. I told them my life story. I was open, you know. I had to tell them I was a drug dealer and I was part of the problem, you know. And I got to tell parents that, you know. And that, you know, that brings tears to my eyes, you know. And I just want to be there. I want people to stand up, you know, and help their son, their daughter, or whatever kind of situation they're in, and be there for them, you know. We'll be there for them, you know. We love them. We're gonna make a difference, you know. People, more people got to do this, you know. It's so sad to see what's going on with the parents. They're both at each other's throat. They're getting divorced, you know what I mean. They don't understand, and it's like a ripple effect, you know. It's like. It's crazy, you know, and I want to let them know that they can talk to me. They can talk to other people in our organization. We've got a lot going on, you know, and they can have their son for another day. Go ahead.
And he works the streets here, you know. He reached out to me a while ago to help me cover this area. And what we do is we try to get into every city and every community in the state of Mass, and he had lost his son. His son was a soldier. His son died over here in this war, and it should have never happened. And he saw me and started following me, and now he's my soldier here, saving others before they lose their children.
Warrior now. I call me a warrior.
Yeah, he's a warrior.
And then he didn't do the part. A year later, my wife, she couldn't take it. She's not here no longer because of the situation. You know,
people don't understand how really bad it is.
You know, and that's sad. You know, and the other parents that are out there suffering, and the siblings. You know, we want to get help to all of them.
Right.
They need it. You know, one addict affects the whole family. You know, and it just displaces everything. When you lose someone you love, you know, it's sad. It's sad.
It's difficult. I mean, and it resonates with you. Yeah. And I mean, even when you lose people that maybe you don't love, but there are some times where like you're reading the media about a death and it just hits you for some reason.
Right.
You know, this has touched my life, and you know, just a past buddy that I knew in high school, and you know, just remember seeing his face, and you know, maybe two years back, you know, I had heard that you know he died from a heroin overdose, and I just remember how happy this kid was, and it struck me, and it really just, yeah, it shocked me, man. It was like it was terrifying, because it was like, wow, I mean, like, I wonder how many people actually struggle with this. And it wasn't until like it hit my front doorstep where, you know, I realized that, wow, this is a very pressing issue. Touching stuff. I want to come back. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the organization mission. We're going to talk about the overall discussion of the subject matter at hand. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Organizations such as LynnCAM, Arts After Hours, and the Lynn Museum are all part of the downtown Lynn Cultural District. I guess our city of sin is slowly becoming the city of Lynn. Thanks for watching this knowledge class. Hopefully you learned a little something.
Welcome back to the LynnCAM TV Show. If you're just joining us, here with me from Heroin is Killing My Town, an organization dedicated to eradicating the heroin epidemic that's happening globally right now. We've got Billy Inkslinger, the founder of the organization, and Paul Baribeau, better known as Bo, who's just a Lynn advocate who's actually been touched personally by this. Guys, we've talked about a lot. We've talked about the organization, some of the history of the organization, how it came about, why you guys exist. We're going to get into the mission. It's Heroin is Killing My Town. You can find them at Facebook/Heroin is Killing My Town. You can send them an email if you'd like, heroiniskillingmytown@gmail.com. If you are an addict or know anybody who's an addict and you need some help and just need some advice, somebody to talk to, a 24-hour service line is available for you, 1-844-437-6465. You can also send them a letter at P.O. Box 86, Pinehurst, Massachusetts. So we've talked about a lot so far. We talked about you gentlemen, your history, how you're involved with the organization, what your responsibilities are. I want to talk overall, I mean, the organization mission. It's important to recognize that this organization is fairly new. You just received your 501c3 and your demand is growing substantially. There are a lot of people who are seeking your help, and I think that it's really based on the fact of how many people you've helped, the volumes you've hit.
That's what happens, yeah.
So what is your mission for those at home who don't know?
My mission is to stop this epidemic, this pandemic. It sounds crazy, but everything's possible. And my mission is to slow down and get this epidemic to stop. Because if we start raising awareness, like I said earlier, in the school systems, we stop the next generation. We get that under control. We start helping the people that are out here now that we're losing. We're losing somebody every 9 minutes to 7 minutes worldwide from a heroin overdose. It's pretty bad. My mission is to raise awareness, stop stigma, get the people that need the help, get all these communities to come together, get the communities trained, the police departments, the fire departments, Narcan. I want Narcan in every police car and every fire truck in the state. I want it in the hospitals. I want it on the streets. I want it easy accessible because it does save lives. People feel the different, you know, people have different opinions, but my opinion is the more we have, the more we save. Education, school systems, we got to get in and teach these people to understand addiction and recovery. I think that every city and town should have like a liaison, like somebody that's an outreach and understands addiction and recovery. We need to work on getting funding for these communities. There's a lot of hard impacted communities that just don't have the means or the money, but we can go in there and help them. My mission is to go out into every community in the state of Massachusetts and now worldwide is to get a few people in every community to do what we do and follow, raise awareness, have rallies and vigils. This week is a very big week. There's a lot going on August 31st for awareness rallies. Gloucester's got something going on. But my mission as a whole, I would like to save more than a couple thousand people a life a month and let that grow. My mission is to probably be 1 million strong on my page in the next couple of years and be able to save thousands of lives a week, not just a day. And I want to grow. There's a lot of problems in the system. There's a lot of problems with insurance lapse. There's a lot of problems with the sectioning. There's a lot of problems with aftercare. My biggest thing now is aftercare. Someone goes in these short-term treatment facilities, they come out and they use again what they were using and they drop dead. That's where a lot of the overdoses are coming from. I want to be able to raise a lot of funds. My goal, so you know, and everyone else knows, is to pull $1 million from today, and I will do it, and I know I can do it. I want people to start donating to us because we know what we need. We need to get out there. If there's a community hard hit and they can't get Narcan, why can't I go out and raise the money to buy it and help that community?
Right.
There's a lot of problems. This short-term treatment is killing everybody. It's not that well. I think long-term treatment's the only answer, and we really don't have the insurances to do so. A lot of people will go into a rehab in a program, do 5-7 days, then they might go to a holding or something after that, and they fall off the face of the earth and go right back in relapse. We need to stop the relapse. We need to get everybody in there for long-term. 3 to 6 months at a minimum. A year is great to overcome. Like I said earlier, it's 1 shot, 1 kill. I helped a girl the other day. Her boyfriend shot her up at 16 years old. She's been ripping and running for 16 years, prostituting, stealing, robbing, using 6 grams a day. And she's probably gonna die if we don't get her the right help. But thankfully, a doctor reached out to me to find this girl because she was on vacation. We helped her. She's in a facility right now for 30 days sectioned, and hopefully she gets the right help. There's a lot of dual diagnosis problems. There's a lot of problems with this. Yeah,
like the issues that we're talking about here is the accessibility to it. And it really, one thing that this show has taught me as a host is like empathy, okay? Yeah. And empathy doesn't come through just saying, oh, I feel bad. It's about knowing it or putting yourself in that person's shoes, experiencing the experience. And it's like, we've had guys on the show who are veterans, and it's like they come back from war and they got to go to the VA department and they got to sit down with somebody who's never seen a gunshot or anything like that. It's like, how are they supposed to get over the struggles that they've got when they're not dealing with anybody who knows it? And it's the same thing with you guys. You guys are 2 survivors who have actually seen the struggle, you've faced it, you've been there, done it, and it's like you can actually, you can show these guys the way. You can show them the way that you did. A lot of people think like, oh, give them a month, give them 2 weeks, and it's like, no, it takes them 2 years.
Keep on them and keep on them and keep on them and follow up with them.
Like we're saying, like what we need is guys that know the streets. We need a van, so that way we can stay with these people for a year. We can take them to Salem Willow. We can be part of their life. Right. Get involved with the family. You know what I mean? And just so much, and it means so much because a week's no good, 30 days no good, because they've ruined everything, and now they're coming awake and realizing,
they're still gonna come home and they're still gonna see
there, and we want to change the parents the way they think about it. You know what I mean? Like he stole and robbed. Yeah, you get education, you put your stuff away, prescription bottles shouldn't be out on the table. Right. There's a lot of things that we need to teach these kids, and we got to be very blunt and very honest, and a lot of parents are probably not going to like the way we talk, okay? But you know why? Because maybe you're exposing them to something they're doing, or whatever.
Silence
you know what?
Killer.
Yeah, and you know what? So there's not going to be silence. We're going to have those kids, like I do, stand up and say something. Right. You know what I mean? Whether they did something wrong or whether their son's struggling or whatever, stand up and make it a stronger community, and everybody understand that fact. And Billy knows exactly how I feel about it.
You guys do a ton of collaborating within these communities. Some of them Healthy Streets here in Lynn. Mary Wheeler, you guys talking about her.
Yep, she's amazing.
An angel.
On top of it, you've got organizations like MOA, and you've got GRASP. So collaboration's a huge part in this bit. And like, I remember in school, like, the one thing that like they taught us about that always kind of resonated with me was like, sex education and like AIDS and stuff like that. And then obviously like don't do heroin. Like, it will kill you. And I always remember that from school. It was like, I'm not going to mess with that. I'm not going to deal with that. And it really has to come down to education, educating these guys. Yeah, people just aren't aware of it. There's a lot of stuff going on in the media right now with Gloucester and the advocacy that they're actually achieving up there. Thumbs up on your end. Do you think that's a good deal?
Gloucester Police Chief's an amazing man. He's a hero.
Anything.
This guy's changed the way people respond and treat people with addiction. He's a hero in my eyes, and we need every city and town to do the same thing as Gloucester's done. I heard the Lynn Police Chief himself has done this for years, but no one really knows about it because it's not like out in the public.
Right.
But I heard this town and the Chief of Police actually is doing something about this
Kevin's
epidemic.
a great guy.
But we need everyone to know that because a lot of people don't know that. You know?
Right.
But the police departments work their tails off, and a lot of people blame shift and say they're not doing their jobs. I mean, people need to understand there's not just one drug dealer in every town.
Right.
Every other single person that's a heroin addict is a dealer to support their habit. So we don't deal with one big network of drug dealers. We're dealing with too many. We're dealing with every other person using, because their habits, the average habit, so you know, and the public knows, the people that I've helped is about a $200 a day habit, and they rob and steal and sell themselves for it.
Wow.
$200 a day.
You know what's really like, it just speaks to me is the word epidemic. And it's like, if we had an epidemic, an outbreak of like a flu or anything like that, just take for example, people would be quarantined, they would be set off. I mean, there would be medical like teams flown in, and it's like, that's what this is. This is an epidemic. You need to have collaboration from the law enforcement, from the schools, to the youth, to the adults, to the families, and that's exactly what you guys are doing right now. But there's a ton of controversy that you face in doing this. I mean, we've had Healthy Streets on, and a part of their organization and their motto is helping these people get well. And it doesn't just, it's not like cut it cold turkey. How many times have they tried that before? And what happens? Relapse. So there's
afraid to reach out when they relapse.
Right.
They have failed, and then the family's like, I can't believe that they wouldn't reach out to their mom or dad or their sister or brother because they kind of cut the cord because they pushed them out because there's so much damage. But well, you can't have an addict afraid to say, I screwed up. It doesn't matter if it's 4 times, 6 times, 10 times. You still got to put them back in the process. Try to convince them, try to be positive, try to inspire them that they can have an amazing life. If we can get through their thick head and that drug, we can get them to have an amazing life. But you can't talk down to somebody and be negative about it. You're never going to get better. You're a loser. You're a scum. You can't do that. You need to let them know they're loved. You need to inspire them, and you let them know that they can live a dream. They can have anything they want in this world if they just give in to that devil and have some power and some strength and overcome. That's why we're losing a lot of people, because everyone's so negative to this. There's a lot of stigma. There's a lot of bad in this.
Does this controversy make your job difficult?
Very.
How so?
How so? How about last week I was in Boston. I had a guy overdosing, nodding off, and 2 construction workers in a pickup truck are laughing and think it's funny. So I get up, the crazy person I am, and I ran up to their window and I had a stack of cards. I said, you really think that's funny? I said, here's my card. God forbid anyone in your family ever gets addicted to heroin. And when they're dying, you give me a call, and I won't be laughing. I will save your family. I stuffed them in their face, and they drove away.
Maybe, hopefully, next time you give them a stack, and then they can hand them out instead of laughing.
It's not funny. The problem we have is the stigma. People are afraid. If we went into the emergency room with cancer, how do you think we're going to be treated?
Like you have cancer and you need help.
I'll bring you into the emergency room, and you know where you're going if you're a heroin addict? On a gurney in the back hall, and treated like an animal. You got better treatment than that.
They're probably going to section you and keep you.
It's the treatment, it's the stigma. We got to get the school systems, we got to get the public and local workers, we got to get everybody in the world to understand. Yes, it could be a choice once. Yes, you have a choice. You know it's bad, you used it, shame on you. But you can't overcome it. And that's not their problem. One-time use, one shot, one kill. People need to understand, and please get out there and do your research and understand. When heroin's in your body, you get a euphoric rush, you feel great, you don't feel. A lot of people, actually we didn't cover this, a lot of people have underlying mental issues.
Right.
And they're not corrected, so they don't feel, right? Your son coming from overseas, seeing a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You know what? It cost him his life.
Right.
Exactly. And there's a lot of underlying problems, and we need to correct. Law enforcement, hospitals, school systems, friends, neighbors, the entire nation needs to come together and understand it and work
do their
together.
thing. You're right.
Guys, I think you hit the nail on the head without a doubt. Heroin is Killing My Town. You can get them at Facebook/Heroin is Killing My Town. You can send them an email, heroiniskillingmytown@gmail.com. If you or a family member or a friend, anybody who's struggling with this epidemic, please reach out to these guys. 1-844-437-6465. You can send them a letter at P.O. Box 86, Pinehurst, Mass. You guys are doing God's work, and I think that you've got a lot more work to get done. And I'm just saying thank you for doing what you're doing from a citizen's perspective. Continue doing the good work. We got to put an end to this stigma, people. That's it for the LynnCAM TV show from the studio here at LynnCAM TV. I'm Sean Donahue, wishing you all the best.